It's time to heal yourself and come back stronger than ever. Life has a way of testing our strength, challenging us in ways we never expected, and sometimes leaving us broken, feeling like we're at our lowest point. But here's the truth: what you've been through, what you've experienced, does not have to define you. It's simply a chapter, not the whole story. Acknowledging the pain is the first step towards healing, yet it's often the hardest step to take. It's difficult to face the very thing that has hurt you, that has shaken you to your core, and to look at it head on. We often try to run from our pain, bury it, or pretend it doesn't exist because we fear what it might reveal. But in reality, ignoring our pain only delays the healing process and prolongs the suffering. True healing comes from accepting the pain for what it is, a part of our experience, not our identity. Pain is a natural response to the challenges and losses that life throws our way. It's a result of the trials we face, whether they are emotional, physical, or even spiritual. When we experience a setback or hardship, pain is our body's and mind's way of signaling that something is wrong, that something needs attention. Yet, for many of us, the instinct is to push it away, to avoid it. We're often told to stay strong, to move on quickly, and to get over it as if pain is something to be ashamed of. But what happens when we suppress our pain? What happens when we try to act like it doesn't exist or that we don't need time to process it? We become overwhelmed. The weight of that unacknowledged pain builds up over time, and it can manifest in other ways through anxiety, anger, or even physical illness. Acknowledging pain doesn't mean that we dwell in it or let it control us, but it does mean we allow ourselves to feel it, to process it. When we acknowledge pain, we take ownership of it. We accept that it is part of our story, but not the whole story. Pain doesn't define who we are, but it does inform us about where we've been and how much we've endured. By facing the pain head on, we begin to dismantle the power it has over us. This act of acknowledgement creates space for healing to begin. It allows us to understand the roots of the pain, the underlying emotions that may be at play, and the lessons that can be learned from it. This process of acknowledging pain requires courage. It requires the strength to sit with discomfort and to confront the emotions that arise when we do. When we allow ourselves to feel the sadness, the anger, or the frustration that comes with pain, we are not admitting defeat. Instead, we are embracing the reality of the situation, which is the first step in reclaiming our power. We must be willing to be vulnerable with ourselves and at times with others. It's in that vulnerability that we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth. Another key aspect of acknowledging pain is the ability to reflect on its impact. Sometimes we push through our pain so quickly that we don't realize how deeply it has affected us. We continue to move forward without checking in with ourselves, without asking how we truly feel. Acknowledging pain means taking a step back and being honest about how we've been affected, both emotionally and mentally. It means understanding the ways in which the pain has changed us, shaped us, and influenced the decisions we make moving forward. It's also important to remember that pain, while deeply personal, is universal. Every person at some point in their life will experience pain. It's a part of the human condition. By acknowledging our pain, we begin to break the silence that often surrounds it. We create a space for others to do the same. Pain is not something to hide or be ashamed of, but rather something to share, to learn from, and to grow through. Acknowledging pain doesn't mean that we have to stay in it forever. It doesn't mean that we accept it as our permanent state. Instead, it's a recognition of where we are so that we can move forward. Only by acknowledging the pain can we begin to heal and transform it into something that propels us toward a stronger, more resilient version of ourselves. We don't heal by ignoring the pain. We heal by facing it, by understanding it, and by choosing to rise above it. Self-compassion is often one of the most overlooked, yet most essential components of healing and growth. It's easy to be kind to others when they're going through hard times, offering them words of encouragement and understanding. But when it comes to ourselves, many of us are quick to judge, criticize, or belittle our own struggles. We're our harshest critics, expecting perfection from ourselves, even in times of vulnerability. But self-compassion is not about excusing mistakes or weaknesses. It's about embracing our humanity, acknowledging that we are imperfect, and offering ourselves the same care and understanding that we would offer to a friend in need. To practice self-compassion is to give ourselves permission to feel, to acknowledge our pain without guilt or shame. It means recognizing that our struggles do not make us weak or unworthy. In fact, it's through embracing our imperfections that we can learn, grow, and ultimately heal. Just as we would comfort a loved one who has gone through a tough time, we must also offer ourselves the same gentle care, recognizing that we deserve it just as much as anyone else. Self-compassion requires that we soften the inner dialogue that we have with ourselves. How many times do we catch ourselves thinking, I should have done better, I'm not good enough? These thoughts, though familiar, are unkind and unproductive. They don't help us heal. They only serve to deepen our pain. Instead of berating ourselves for our mistakes, self-compassion encourages us to treat ourselves with understanding. It's okay that I made a mistake. I'm doing the best I can, and I can learn from this. This shift in mindset is vital for healing, as it allows us to move from a place of self-criticism to a place of self-kindness and acceptance. A key aspect of self-compassion is giving ourselves permission to be imperfect. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with images of perfection, creating unrealistic standards that many of us feel pressure to meet. Whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal lives, there's often a sense that we must be flawless to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. But this pursuit of perfection can be exhausting and ultimately counterproductive. Self-compassion invites us to let go of the need to be perfect and to simply be human. We don't need to have all the answers or to always show up at our best. What matters is that we are showing up for ourselves in the best way we know how, and that we are extending compassion to ourselves when we fall short. It's also important to recognize that self-compassion is not about indulging in self-pity or avoiding responsibility. It doesn't mean ignoring our flaws or refusing to improve. Instead, self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our weaknesses without attaching shame to them. It enables us to look at ourselves with honesty and kindness, recognizing that we, like everyone else, are on a journey of growth. It's about taking responsibility for our actions in a loving way rather than in a judgmental, self-defeating way. Another aspect of self-compassion is understanding that suffering is part of the human experience. It's easy to feel isolated in our pain, thinking that we're the only ones who are struggling. But the reality is that every person at some point faces challenges and hardship. Self-compassion helps us recognize that we are not alone in our suffering and that our experiences, however painful, connect us to the greater human story. When we embrace this understanding, it becomes easier to treat ourselves with the same gentleness we would offer to others. Practicing self-compassion also involves taking care of our emotional and physical needs. It's easy to neglect our well-being when we're going through difficult times, focusing only on the external circumstances and pushing ourselves to keep going despite feeling drained. But true self-compassion requires us to listen to our bodies and minds to honor what they need. It might mean taking a break when we're overwhelmed, seeking support when we're struggling, or simply giving ourselves permission to rest. When we prioritize our well-being, we're better equipped to heal and to show up for ourselves and others in a meaningful way. Self-compassion is a practice, something we must cultivate each day. It's about being gentle with ourselves, about offering care and kindness even when we feel undeserving, and about embracing our imperfections with open arms. It's an essential foundation for healing, growth, and transformation, as it empowers us to move forward with love and acceptance rather than fear and self-doubt. When we can learn to treat ourselves with the same compassion that we so often extend to others, we unlock the power to heal and to become the best version of ourselves. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful forces in the process of healing and personal growth. It's easy to hold on to hurt, to harbor resentment, or to feel justified in our anger towards someone who has wronged us. After all, we've been hurt, and it seems natural to want the person who caused that hurt to feel the weight of their actions. Yet what we often don't realize is that holding on to unforgiveness doesn't punish the other person nearly as much as it punishes us. It keeps us bound to the past, trapped in the same emotional state, and prevents us from moving forward. Forgiveness isn't about excusing the wrong that was done to us or pretending that it didn't matter. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional chains that keep us stuck in a cycle of pain. When we forgive, we are choosing to let go of the burden of anger, bitterness, and resentment. These emotions can consume us, draining our energy and keeping us focused on the pain rather than the possibility of healing. Holding on to them only keeps us tethered to the past, replaying the hurt over and over in our minds, often making the pain feel as fresh as it was in the moment it first occurred. But forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. It doesn't mean that the wrongdoing is forgotten, nor does it mean that we condone the actions that hurt us. Instead, it means that we choose to release the emotional grip that the situation has on our lives. When we forgive, we stop allowing the past to dictate our present and future. We reclaim our power and move forward unburdened by the weight of past injustices. The process of forgiveness can be difficult, especially when the wound is deep. It requires vulnerability, humility, and a willingness to confront the pain head on. Forgiveness is not always an immediate or easy decision. It's often a gradual process. It can take time to come to the place where we are ready to release the hurt and choose to forgive. In some cases, forgiveness may need to be extended repeatedly, especially when the pain feels overwhelming or when the person who wronged us has not acknowledged their actions. But every time we make the choice to forgive, we are moving closer to healing. And that choice is ultimately what sets us free. Forgiveness doesn't just free us from the emotional hold of anger, it also opens the door to empathy and understanding. When we choose to forgive, we begin to see the other person as human, just as flawed and imperfect as we are. It doesn't excuse their actions, but it allows us to release the judgment and pain we've been holding on to. Forgiveness allows us to understand that people act from their own wounds, their own pain, and their own limitations. When we view others through the lens of compassion rather than judgment, we open ourselves to healing not only our relationship with them, but also our relationship with ourselves. The act of forgiveness is a reflection of self-love and inner peace. It's an acknowledgement that in order to heal, we must be willing to let go of the past and release ourselves from the emotional burden we've been carrying. Forgiveness is an essential step toward self-healing. It allows us to let go of the toxic emotions that can prevent us from moving forward, and it creates space for new experiences and positive growth. When we forgive, we are not only freeing ourselves from anger and resentment, we are also making room for love, compassion, and understanding. It's through this release that we begin to reclaim our peace of mind, our emotional well-being, and our sense of joy. Forgiveness opens our hearts to the possibility of a brighter, more fulfilling future. It helps us to stop allowing the actions of others to determine our emotional state and to instead take control of our own happiness. It's important to understand that forgiveness does not mean that we have to continue allowing people to hurt us. It doesn't mean that we must continue to put ourselves in situations where we are mistreated or disrespected. Forgiveness is not about tolerating abuse or unhealthy relationships. Instead, it's about releasing the hold that the negative emotions related to those situations have on us. We can forgive someone while still setting boundaries and protecting our peace. Forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to forgive, especially when we've been deeply hurt. But it is in that very act that we find our greatest strength. The power of forgiveness lies in its ability to heal, to transform pain into peace, and to break the cycle of bitterness that can hold us captive. It is a gift we give not only to others, but to ourselves. Forgiveness doesn't mean we forget the past, but it allows us to move beyond it. It enables us to release the emotional baggage we've been carrying and to step into a future filled with peace, compassion, and freedom. In choosing forgiveness, we choose to free ourselves from the past and to embrace the healing that awaits us. Restoring faith in yourself is one of the most empowering steps you can take on your journey of healing and growth. Life has a way of challenging our belief in ourselves, often through setbacks, failures, or moments of doubt. When we face disappointments or struggles, it's easy to start questioning our abilities and our worth. We may start to believe the lies that our failures define us, that we are not capable of achieving our dreams, or that we are somehow less than others. These negative beliefs can erode our self-confidence and leave us feeling stuck, disconnected from our true potential. However, restoring faith in yourself is not only possible, it is essential for moving forward in life. It begins with recognizing that self-doubt, while a natural response to adversity, does not define who you are or limit what you can achieve. The first step in restoring faith in yourself is recognizing that everyone experiences moments of self-doubt. It's part of being human. No one is immune to feelings of inadequacy or fear of failure. What separates those who move forward from those who get stuck is the ability to acknowledge these feelings without letting them control your actions. Instead of allowing self-doubt to dictate your behavior, you can choose to see it for what it is, a temporary emotion that does not have to define your future. This shift in perspective is crucial for restoring faith in yourself. By acknowledging your doubts and fears without letting them take over, you create space for confidence and belief to grow. Another important aspect of restoring faith in yourself is recognizing and embracing your past successes. Too often we focus on our failures and forget to celebrate the victories we have achieved. Whether big or small, your past accomplishments are proof of your strength, resilience, and ability to overcome challenges. Reflecting on these successes can serve as a powerful reminder that you have the capability to achieve whatever you set your mind to. When you look back at the obstacles you've overcome, you begin to see yourself not as a person who fails, but as someone who is capable of growth, learning, and perseverance. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to your inner strength. Restoring faith in yourself also involves being kind to yourself during difficult times. It's easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism when things don't go according to plan, but harshly judging yourself only weakens your belief in your abilities. Instead, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend in need. Understand that setbacks and challenges are part of the journey, and they do not diminish your worth or potential. By being gentle with yourself, you create an environment in which your faith in yourself can grow and thrive. This self-compassion helps to build resilience, allowing you to bounce back from adversity with renewed strength and determination. Another key element in restoring faith in yourself is setting realistic, achievable goals. When we set goals that are too far out of reach or that seem impossible, it's easy to become discouraged and lose faith in our abilities. However, breaking down larger goals into smaller, manageable steps can make the process feel less overwhelming. Every time you achieve a smaller goal, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of success. This creates a positive feedback loop where each small victory builds your confidence and strengthens your faith in your ability to reach your ultimate goal. It's also essential to surround yourself with supportive people who believe in you. When you are trying to restore faith in yourself, the influence of others can be incredibly powerful. Positive, encouraging relationships can help you see your potential even when you struggle to see it yourself. Whether it's family, friends, mentors, or colleagues, the right people can remind you of your strengths, celebrate your successes, and offer support when things get tough. Having a network of people who lift you up can help you maintain a strong sense of belief in yourself, especially when your own confidence falters. It's important to take action toward your goals, even when your faith in yourself feels shaky. Confidence is built through action, not just thought. Even when you don't feel fully confident, taking small steps forward will help you rebuild your belief in your abilities. Each action you take, regardless of the outcome, strengthens your faith in yourself and your capacity for growth. It is through these consistent efforts that you will see progress and ultimately restore the trust and faith that you need to move forward. Restoring faith in yourself is a journey, one that takes time, patience, and persistence. It involves shifting your mindset, embracing your successes, being kind to yourself, and taking action even in the face of doubt. The key is to keep moving forward, trusting that every step you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. The more you believe in yourself, the more you will accomplish, and the more you will see just how powerful you truly are. Reframing your mindset is one of the most transformative practices you can embrace in your journey toward growth and success. It's easy to fall into patterns of thinking that limit our potential, especially when faced with challenges or setbacks. We can become trapped in a negative way of seeing the world where obstacles seem insurmountable, and our chances for success feel slim. However, reframing your mindset means shifting the way you perceive these challenges. It's about seeing situations not as problems, but as opportunities for learning, growth, and development. By changing the way you think, you change the way you experience life and ultimately the results you achieve. The first step in reframing your mindset is becoming aware of your current thought patterns. Often we are unaware of the limiting beliefs we hold or the negative self-talk that runs through our minds. These thoughts may come in the form of "I'm not good enough," "this is too hard," or "it's too hard, I'll never be successful." These kinds of thoughts create a cycle of doubt and fear that keeps us from taking action or pursuing our dreams. To reframe your mindset, you must first recognize when these thoughts arise. Once you become aware of them, you can begin to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helping me? Is there another way to look at this situation? This awareness is the first step in taking control of your mindset. Once you are aware of your negative thoughts, the next step is to reframe them into more empowering perspectives. For example, instead of thinking, "This is too difficult for me," you can reframe it to, "This is an opportunity to grow and learn." Instead of saying, "I always fail at this," try thinking, "Every failure is a step towards success. I can learn something valuable from each experience." Reframing is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, It's about changing how you interpret those challenges. It's about seeing obstacles as temporary, surmountable, and recognizing that every difficulty carries the potential for personal growth. When you shift your thinking, you open up a new realm of possibilities, and you begin to see solutions instead of roadblocks. Another key aspect of reframing your mindset is recognizing that setbacks are a normal part of the journey. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to become discouraged or give up entirely. However, reframing your mindset means understanding that setbacks are not failures. They are simply detours, bumps in the road that provide opportunities for reflection and improvement. When you change your perspective on failure, it no longer feels like the end of the road, but rather a necessary part of the process. By reframing your view of failure, you give yourself permission to keep going, to keep trying, and to keep learning from each experience. You begin to understand that success is not linear, but a series of steps, including both victories and setbacks. One of the most powerful shifts in mindset comes from moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that our abilities, intelligence, and potential are static and unchangeable. People with a fixed mindset may avoid challenges because they fear failure or believe that they don't have the inherent talent to succeed. On the other hand, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities can be developed and improved over time through effort, learning, and perseverance. By embracing a growth mindset, you begin to view challenges as opportunities to improve and develop your skills. Instead of believing that you're not capable, you begin to believe that you can learn and grow no matter where you start. A growth mindset encourages resilience as it allows you to bounce back from setbacks with a renewed sense of determination. When you reframe your mindset to embrace growth, you stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth and instead view it as a necessary part of the process toward success. This shift in thinking gives you the confidence to continue taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from them without the fear of being stuck or incapable. Reframing your mindset involves focusing on the present moment rather than worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. It's easy to get caught up in what might happen or to ruminate on past mistakes, but this type of thinking only drains your energy and prevents you from making progress. Reframing your mindset means bringing your focus back to the present, taking each moment as it comes, and trusting in your ability to handle whatever challenges arise. It's about focusing on the actions you can take today rather than being paralyzed by what you cannot control. By staying present, you empower yourself to take intentional steps forward, no matter how small they may seem. Reframing your mindset requires consistency and effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. It's about training your mind to see beyond limitations and to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. When you reframe your thinking, you begin to approach life with a sense of hope, determination, and confidence. Instead of being defeated by challenges, you face them with a mindset of growth, resilience, and possibility. This shift in perspective opens the door to greater success, fulfillment, and personal development as you begin to see the world not as a series of obstacles, but as a series of opportunities for growth. Embracing change is one of the most vital skills you can cultivate in life. Change, whether it comes in the form of a new job, a move to a new place, a shift in relationships, or even personal transformation, is a constant presence. However, it's easy to resist change, especially when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. Our natural tendency is often to cling to what we know, to stay within our comfort zones because it feels safe and predictable. But true growth and progress come from embracing change, not resisting it. When we learn to welcome change, we open ourselves up to new opportunities, fresh perspectives, and the chance to evolve into better versions of ourselves. The first step in embracing change is shifting our mindset. We have to move away from seeing change as a threat and instead view it as an opportunity. Often we resist change because we fear the unknown. We worry about how it will affect us, whether we'll be able to handle it, or whether we'll make the right choices. But the truth is, change is inevitable. And the more we try to avoid it, the more we hold ourselves back. By changing our perception of change, we can begin to see it as a chance to learn, grow, and evolve. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, we can focus on what might go right and how this change can help us become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Another important aspect of embracing change is learning to let go of the past. Often we resist change because we're holding on to what has already happened. We may feel a sense of loss when things shift, even if those changes are ultimately for the better. Letting go of the past means releasing old patterns, outdated beliefs, and any attachments that no longer serve us. It's about understanding that we cannot move forward while constantly looking backward. When we embrace change, we allow ourselves to create new experiences, new memories, and new opportunities. The past is a valuable teacher, but it is no longer our destination. Letting go of it opens up space for new beginnings. Change often requires us to step outside of our comfort zones. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of embracing change, as it pushes us into unfamiliar territory. But stepping outside our comfort zone is where the magic happens. It's where we discover new strengths, talents, and abilities that we didn't know we had. It's where we take risks, make mistakes, and learn valuable lessons that shape us into who we are meant to become. The discomfort we feel when stepping into the unknown is simply a sign that we are growing. It's a signal that we are evolving and becoming more capable of handling whatever comes our way. Resisting change often stems from a fear of failure. We worry about making the wrong decision, not measuring up, or not being able to handle the challenges that come with change. However, failure is not something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced. Failure is simply a part of the learning process. When we try something new, there's always a risk that it won't work out the way we expect. But that doesn't mean it's the end of the road. In fact, it's often in our failures that we learn the most valuable lessons. Embracing change means accepting that setbacks are a natural part of the journey and that they do not define us. Each failure is a stepping stone, a lesson that brings us closer to success. Another critical aspect of embracing change is cultivating resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. Change often brings challenges that require us to adapt and adjust, but resilience allows us to remain grounded, to stay focused on our goals, and to continue moving forward even in the face of difficulties. By developing resilience, we strengthen our ability to handle whatever changes come our way with grace and determination. Resilience gives us the confidence to face uncertainty and the courage to take bold steps, knowing that we have the inner strength to navigate through it. Embracing change also involves trusting in the process of life. Life is constantly evolving, and we are constantly evolving along with it. When we embrace change, we are essentially trusting that the universe, or whatever higher force we believe in, is guiding us toward our best path. This trust allows us to release the need for control and to go with the flow of life. Instead of resisting change, we learn to trust that the changes happening are part of a larger plan, one that is ultimately for our growth and benefit. Trusting in the process helps us to stay calm during times of uncertainty and to move forward with confidence and faith. Embracing change is about accepting that change is an essential part of life. It's about understanding that growth and progress cannot happen without it. Change is not something to fear, but something to welcome because it brings new opportunities, new perspectives, and new possibilities. When we embrace change, we allow ourselves to step into the unknown with courage, curiosity, and an open heart. Through this process, we evolve into stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled individuals. Embracing change is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Visualizing your comeback is one of the most powerful tools you can use in your journey of personal transformation. Life often presents us with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that can leave us feeling defeated, lost, or unsure of our next steps. It's easy to become consumed by the difficulties and to believe that things will never improve. However, the act of visualization, mentally picturing yourself overcoming these challenges and achieving success, can be a catalyst for powerful change. It's not just about imagining a future without struggle, but about visualizing yourself rising above the struggles and becoming stronger, more resilient, and more capable. When you focus your mind on your comeback, you are essentially planting the seeds of hope, determination, and success in your subconscious mind. Visualization works because it taps into the power of your imagination. Your brain doesn't differentiate between real and vividly imagined experiences. When you visualize yourself succeeding, achieving your goals and overcoming obstacles, your brain treats it as if it's already happening. This creates new neural pathways, reinforcing the belief that you can achieve your goals and overcome the challenges in your way. The more vividly and emotionally you visualize your comeback, the more real it becomes in your mind, which directly impacts your behavior and actions. Visualization boosts your confidence, builds your resilience, and keeps you focused on your ultimate goal, even when faced with difficulties. One of the key elements of visualizing your comeback is seeing yourself in a state of strength and empowerment. It's easy to focus on past failures or moments of weakness, but true visualization involves picturing yourself at your best, strong, confident, and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Imagine yourself handling challenges with grace and determination. See yourself pushing through setbacks, learning from mistakes, and emerging more powerful than before. Visualizing yourself as your best self helps you to believe that you are capable of rising above your circumstances, no matter how difficult they may seem. It strengthens your belief in your ability to create change and take control of your own destiny. When you visualize your comeback, it's important to focus not only on the end result, but also on the process of getting there. Visualize yourself taking the necessary steps each day toward your goal, whether it's improving your mindset, building new skills, or taking action toward your dreams. The process of visualization doesn't just prepare you for the end of your journey. It also conditions you to remain focused and persistent along the way. Every small action you take, every moment you spend in dedication to your goal is a part of your comeback story. By visualizing the journey, you program your mind to remain committed to your goal, even when the path isn't always clear or easy. Another aspect of visualization is seeing the obstacles in your life as opportunities for growth, rather than as insurmountable barriers. Life's challenges can be daunting, and it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned. However, when you visualize your comeback, you begin to see each setback as a valuable lesson, a necessary part of your growth. You can imagine yourself learning from each obstacle, gaining new wisdom, strength, and clarity as you move forward. This shift in perspective turns challenges into stepping stones, not roadblocks. By visualizing yourself overcoming obstacles with resilience and adaptability, you train your mind to face difficulties with a positive, problem-solving mindset. To make your visualization even more effective, it's important to engage all your senses. Picture not only the outcome of your success, but also the feelings, sounds, and emotions that accompany your victory. Imagine the sense of pride, joy, and fulfillment that comes with achieving your goals. Visualize the sound of applause, the satisfaction of knowing you pushed through your hardest moments, or the relief of seeing your hard work pay off. The more detailed and sensory-rich your visualization, the more it will resonate with your subconscious mind, reinforcing the belief that your comeback is not only possible, but inevitable. It's also essential to visualize the support and resources you need along the way. Sometimes the road to a comeback isn't just about individual strength, it's also about recognizing the people, tools, and opportunities that can help you along the journey. Visualize yourself surrounded by supportive individuals, whether it's family, friends, mentors, or colleagues who encourage you and help you stay focused. Imagine having the resources you need to succeed, whether it's knowledge, finances, or connections, and how those things will enable you to move closer to your goal. When you visualize these aspects of your comeback, you reinforce the belief that you have everything you need to succeed, and you create an energy of abundance and possibility. The power of visualization extends beyond just seeing your success. It also fuels your actions and determination. When you regularly practice visualizing your comeback, you align your thoughts and emotions with your goals. This alignment creates a strong sense of purpose and motivation, helping you stay focused and persistent. Visualization helps you cultivate the mindset needed to overcome setbacks, make decisions with confidence, and take consistent action toward your goals. It keeps you grounded in your vision, reminding you that every step you take brings you closer to the person you are becoming and the life you are creating. By embracing visualization, you activate your inner strength and resilience. You build the mental framework needed to stay focused on your comeback and make it a reality. Every time you visualize, you reinforce the belief that you can rise above your current circumstances and create the life you desire. With each visualization session, you strengthen the foundation of your comeback, laying the groundwork for lasting transformation and success.